The Cleveland Browns' quarterback room just turned into a full-blown war zone, and if you thought you knew how tense things were before, buckle up, because the story just got explosive. Dillon Gabriel, the guy who was supposed to be the answer, the future, the QB1, is now looking over his shoulder every single snap. Why? Because Shedeur Sanders, the kid with a legendary last name and even more legendary talent, is quietly tearing through practice, earning the respect of the locker room, and sending shockwaves through the entire organization before he's even thrown a meaningful pass. You heard that right. An insider, someone who knows the Browns better than most reporters could dream of, went on live television and without holding back called Dillon Gabriel a loser in this situation. Let that sink in for a second. The guy who was supposed to be the bridge, maybe even the long-term solution at quarterback, is now publicly labeled as falling behind. And all this before he's even had a chance to make a real mistake in a game. It's not just media hype. This is inside Cleveland. This is the locker room talking. This is players, coaches, and insiders sending signals that the franchise is quietly shifting under Gabriel's feet. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders isn't even stepping onto the field yet in a meaningful game, and already, the Browns are reacting like he's the one holding the keys to the offense. Jerry Jeudy, one of the team's star receivers, is publicly praising Sanders for his preparation, his understanding of the plays, and his commitment to doing whatever the coaches ask. Myles Garrett, the face of the franchise, sees Sanders in the coach's office almost every morning, grinding through plays, building chemistry, and proving that he's ready for the moment when it comes. And the kicker, they aren't hyping him because of who his father is, they're hyping him because of what he's doing. That's pure, earned respect. Now, imagine you're Dillon Gabriel. You walk into the building knowing the media is already whispering, knowing the fans are ready to turn on you at the first sign of trouble, and knowing the players in your own locker room are quietly, maybe not so quietly, signaling their support for the rookie who hasn't even played a down yet. The pressure isn't just intense, it's psychological warfare. Every throw, every play, every decision is now under a microscope. And the moment you falter, the calls for Shedeur Sanders will hit a deafening pitch that could drown out anything else. But here what makes this story even more compelling. Shedeur Sanders isn't just relying on hype or legacy. He's showing up, doing the work, letting his preparation speak louder than words. He's building momentum quietly, strategically, and he's making it clear that the starting job isn't something he needs to campaign for. It's something he's earned. And with the Browns heading into hostile environments, with fans and insiders already lining up behind him, the countdown on Dillon Gabriel's window of opportunity is already ticking. So the question is, how long does Gabriel have before the whispers turn into roars? How long before the Browns' quarterback controversy becomes a full-blown headline across the league? And most importantly, is Cleveland ready for the Shedeur Sanders era? Stay tuned, because this story is just getting started, and you do not want to blink. Tony Gee just went off live on television, and what he said about Dillon Gabriel is sending shockwaves through Cleveland. He didn't mince words. He called Gabriel a loser in the current quarterback situation. Think about that. An insider, someone who knows the Browns inside and out, publicly questioning the very guy who was supposed to be the future of the franchise. That's not just a hot take, it's a warning shot. And it didn't come from some casual fan or clickbait article. This is someone with access, with perspective, who sees the inner workings of the organization and knows exactly what's happening behind the scenes. Why did he drop that bomb? Because Shedeur Sanders has been quietly dominating practice. While Gabriel was going through the motions, Sanders was showing up early, grinding through plays, and proving he's ready to seize any opportunity that comes his way. And it's not just the work on the field. Insiders are noticing his leadership, his maturity, the way he's commanding respect without saying a word. Every morning, the coaches see him in the office, breaking down schemes, analyzing film, building chemistry with the receivers, and ensuring that when his moment comes, he's ready. This isn't a rookie learning the ropes. This is a future franchise quarterback sending a message. The effect on Gabriel, immediate and brutal. Every throw, every decision now comes with the weight of comparison. One incomplete pass, one misread, one mistake, and suddenly the crowd, the media, and even his own teammates are ready to shift their focus to Sanders. It's not just competition, it's psychological warfare. And the insiders aren't shy about letting everyone know it. Tony Gee made it clear. As soon as Gabriel falters, Sanders is ready to step in. The countdown is already ticking, and the pressure on Gabriel is suffocating. But it's not all doom and gloom. This moment also reveals a lot about the Browns' culture. The organization respects preparation, maturity, and talent. Sanders didn't get this attention because of hype or family name. He earned it. And Gee's bombshell, it wasn't just drama for the cameras. It was a signal. The franchise, the locker room, and the media are all aligned in observing who's truly ready to lead. For Gabriel, this is a wake-up call. And for the fans, it's the start of a story that's about to get a lot more intense. If you think the drama is only happening in the media, think again. The real story is unfolding inside the Browns' locker room, and it's every bit as explosive as Tony Gee's bombshells. Jerry Jeudy, one of the team's star receivers, has been publicly praising Shedeur Sanders, not for his name, not for hype, but for the way he prepares, studies, and respects the game. He's talking about a kid who shows up early, breaks down plays, and executes the coach's instructions to perfection. That might sound like generic praise, but read between the lines. The Browns, veterans are signaling who they really believe should lead this team. Myles Garrett, the defensive cornerstone of the franchise, sees Sanders in the coach's office almost every morning, not occasionally, not when it's convenient, but consistently. He's analyzing schemes, building relationships with receivers, and showing an understanding of the game beyond his years. This isn't backup quarterback behavior, it's franchise quarterback behavior. And when leaders like Garrett take notice, that's the locker room sending a message that goes far beyond words. Sanders is earning respect, and the team is taking note. Contrast that with Dillon Gabriel. He's talented, yes, and he had a solid college career, but the moment Sanders arrived, everything changed. Gabriel isn't just facing competition on the practice field. He's facing whispers from the media, judgment from fans, and subtle but unmistakable signals from his own teammates. Every time someone praises Sanders' preparation, work ethic, or leadership, it's an indirect shot at Gabriel. And in the NFL, perception often becomes reality. Players and coaches know who's putting in the work, who's taking the game seriously, and who has the IT factor that separates good players from great ones. Right now, all signs point to Sanders. What makes this even more intense is how the locker room dynamics intersect with the media narrative. Tony Gee's comments didn't exist in a vacuum. They reflect what insiders are already seeing. The praise for Sanders isn't about creating drama. It's about acknowledging the kid who is quietly taking control of the quarterback room. And make no mistake, NFL locker rooms are brutally honest. Veterans don't hype up someone unless they genuinely believe it. When players go out of their way to elevate a rookie, that rookie is already influencing the culture, shifting the power dynamic, and subtly telling the coaches, this is the guy we trust. For Gabriel, that's the nightmare scenario. He's not just competing with Sanders on talent or skills. He's competing with the perception of Sanders, the momentum he's building, and the whispers that are about to turn into voices and then roars. One misstep in practice, one bad throw in a game, and the entire room could pivot. And the fans, they're already watching, already forming opinions, and ready to amplify every sign of weakness.
If you enjoyed today's breakdown and want to keep up with all the drama, trades, and behind-the-scenes action in the NFL, then don't forget to hit that like button.
Inside the Browns' locker room, the story is clear. Shedeur Sanders isn't just a backup. He's a contender, a leader, and a signal of the franchise's future. Every compliment, every nod, every subtle sign of approval is a brick in the foundation of what could be the next quarterback era in Cleveland. And for Dillon Gabriel, the pressure isn't going away, it's only getting louder. The countdown has begun, and everyone in that locker room knows it. For Dillon Gabriel, the pressure isn't just intense, it's suffocating. He walked into Cleveland as the presumed starter, the guy expected to lead the franchise, and now he's facing a situation most quarterbacks could only dream or dread about. Shedeur Sanders, a rookie who hasn't even thrown a meaningful pass yet, is already earning respect from the locker room. getting praise from veterans like Jerry Jeudy and Myles Garrett, and becoming the center of attention for fans and insiders alike. Every throw Gabriel makes is now measured not just by performance, but against the looming potential of Sanders. Tony Gee already dropped the bomb that Gabriel is falling behind, and that isn't an exaggeration, it's a psychological minefield. One incompletion, one misread, one moment of hesitation could trigger an avalanche. The fans are ready to pounce. The media is watching. Even his teammates, consciously or unconsciously, are sending signals that the rookie is the one to watch. Gabriel isn't just competing against Sanders on the field. He's competing against the narrative, the hype, and the perception that the Browns may have already found their future QB. Imagine stepping into that stadium knowing that every mistake, no matter how small, will be scrutinized. One first down failure, one poorly timed throw, and the chants will start. The calls for Sanders will grow louder, and suddenly the pressure multiplies tenfold. Gabriel is in a situation where it's not just about leading the offense, it's about proving that he deserves to stay above a kid who hasn't even officially taken the field. And the clock is ticking. Every practice, every play, every media soundbite pushes him closer to the moment where the judgment of the locker room, fans, and organization could decide his fate. It's a scenario that could break quarterbacks. The mental strain is real, and the margin for error has never been smaller. Even if Gabriel executes perfectly, the comparison to Sanders will always be there. Sanders is quietly building momentum, showing leadership, showing work ethic, showing preparation that makes the organization, and the league, take notice. Meanwhile, Gabriel is left navigating a minefield of expectations, whispers, and high-stakes scrutiny. In short, the pressure isn't just about winning games, it's about surviving the environment. The Browns' quarterback room isn't just a competition, it's a psychological battlefield. And as the next game approaches, Gabriel has to ask himself, can he rise to the occasion, or is this the beginning of the end of his time as Cleveland's QB1? While Dillon Gabriel faces immense pressure, Shedeur Sanders is quietly building momentum in a way that speaks louder than any headline or media hype. He hasn't taken a meaningful snap in a regular season game yet, but you'd never know it by the way he carries himself in the Browns building. Every morning, before anyone else even shows up, Sanders is in the coach's office, grinding through film, breaking down plays, and asking questions. He's not just memorizing the playbook, he's internalizing it, understanding how to read defenses, and building chemistry with receivers. That kind of preparation isn't just impressive, it's franchise quarterback behavior. It's easy to dismiss hype around a rookie, especially when he comes from a famous lineage. But Sanders isn't relying on his father's reputation. Deion Sanders' name may have opened doors, but it's Shedeur's work ethic, maturity, and poise that are earning respect from the locker room. Jerry Jeudy praised him for doing everything necessary so that when his opportunity arrives, he can take full advantage. Myles Garrett noticed him showing up early, working with coaches, and preparing as if he's already the starter. These aren't small details, they're signals to everyone in the organization that Sanders is ready, capable, and already leading by example. What makes this even more impressive is his approach. He's not creating drama, he's not campaigning for the starting job, and he isn't throwing shade at Gabriel. Sanders is letting his actions speak for themselves. Every rep, every meeting, every film session builds credibility. He's demonstrating leadership quietly, subtly influencing the locker room, and proving that he has the mental toughness to thrive under pressure. That combination of talent and composure is exactly what teams look for in a quarterback who can carry a franchise for years. And the effects are already visible. The veterans aren't just nodding politely, they're recognizing Sanders as someone who can change the trajectory of the team. The coaches are taking notice. The fans are starting to see the potential. Sanders hasn't even stepped on the field in a game, yet he's influencing the culture of the Browns, shifting expectations, and creating a buzz that's impossible to ignore. This quiet dominance doesn't just make him a contender, it makes him inevitable. The comparison to Gabriel is unavoidable, and with every day that passes, the narrative strengthens. Sanders is ready. He's prepared. He's earned the trust of the players and the attention of the organization. For Cleveland, the quarterback room is no longer just a competition. It's a clear signal of what the franchise sees as its future. And the question hanging over Dillon Gabriel isn't if Sanders will get his chance, it's when. Amid all this pressure and hype, one person is stuck in the middle. Kevin Stefanski, the head coach of the Browns. He's facing a dilemma that no coach wants. A quarterback controversy brewing before the season is even in full swing, and the entire team, media, and fan base watching his every move. On one side, you have Dillon Gabriel, the established starter, the player expected to lead this team. On the other side, there's Shedeur Sanders, the rookie who hasn't taken a meaningful snap yet but is already dominating the locker room and winning hearts with his preparation and leadership. And Stefanski has to manage it all without letting it implode. The first challenge is the public narrative. When asked about the quarterback situation, Stefanski gave a politically careful non-answer, basically saying he's not sure if Sanders is the backup or not. That might sound like coach speak, but in reality, it's a high-stakes balancing act. Name Sanders as the official backup, and the pressure on Gabriel multiplies exponentially. One mistake, one incomplete pass, and the calls for Sanders to take over will reach a deafening level. Leave it ambiguous. And Gabriel is left to navigate the whispers, the comparisons, and the looming shadow of Sanders without any reprieve. Either way, Stefanski is walking a tightrope. Then there's the internal dynamic with the players. The locker room already respects Sanders' work ethic and preparation, and the veterans' support is obvious. If Stefanski ignores it or mishandles it, he risks creating a rift between the coaches and the team. That's not a minor issue in the NFL. Locker room cohesion can make or break a season. He has to weigh Gabriel's potential, the rookie's momentum, and the cultural shift that Sanders is quietly driving. Every decision he makes sends a message. About leadership, about fairness, about who the organization truly believes in. And let's not forget the external pressure. Fans are already forming opinions. Media insiders like Tony Gee are calling Gabriel a loser in this scenario, and every misstep on the field will be magnified. Stefanski has to anticipate the psychological impact on Gabriel while not letting Sanders' rise be derailed by mismanagement. It's a chess game with multiple layers: personnel, perception, and performance. In short, Stefanski is trying to control a situation that is increasingly out of his hands. Gabriel's margin for error is shrinking by the day. Sanders' preparation, poise, and quiet dominance are reshaping the quarterback room, the locker room culture, and the fan base's expectations. Stefanski can delay the decision, but the momentum is already in Sanders' favor. The question isn't if Gabriel will face pressure, it's whether he can survive it. And every day Stefanski waits, the stakes only get higher. If you think the drama in Cleveland is confined to the locker room and the media, think again. The fans are a major player in this unfolding quarterback saga, and they're already making their presence felt. From social media threads to stadium chants, a large contingent of Shedeur Sanders supporters is signaling loud and clear. They want the rookie under center. And make no mistake, in the NFL, the fans' collective voice carries enormous weight. When the stadium erupts, the energy can sway momentum, influence decisions, and amplify pressure like nothing else. Tony Gee made it crystal clear. Every incomplete pass, every misread, every minor hiccup by Dillon Gabriel could be the spark that ignites a fan-driven call for Sanders to take over. And the fans aren't just casual observers. They're invested, vocal, and relentless. The minute the Browns return home from their road game in Pittsburgh, the stadium will be charged with anticipation. One poorly executed play, one stalled drive, and the chance for Sanders could drown out Gabriel's attempts to stabilize the offense. For a quarterback, that's psychological warfare at its finest, and Gabriel is feeling the heat. But it's not just the noise in the stands. The fan factor extends online and in conversations across Cleveland. Social media is flooded with clips, memes, and commentary hyping Sanders, comparing his work ethic and preparation to Gabriel's on-field performance. Every mention, every viral clip, and every fan post adds pressure to Gabriel, making him acutely aware that a growing portion of the fan base is already rooting for him to fail. It's not just a performance issue anymore. It's a battle against perception, hype, and expectation, and it's happening in real time. For Sanders, the fan factor works in his favor. He hasn't played yet, and already he has momentum on his side. Every show of support, every viral comment, and every chant reinforces the narrative that he's the future of the franchise. The fans are effectively doing part of the job the locker room and media are already amplifying, building anticipation, creating pressure, and shaping the storyline. For Gabriel, it's a nightmare scenario. He's competing not just with a rookie quarterback, but with the collective will of fans who are ready to see the next era begin. The takeaway? In Cleveland, the fans aren't just spectators. They're active participants in the quarterback controversy. And when the first misstep happens, their voices will make themselves impossible to ignore. For Dillon Gabriel, the fan factor is a ticking clock, a constant reminder that the window to prove himself is shrinking fast. The stakes in Cleveland right now couldn't be higher. This isn't just a quarterback competition, it's a full-blown franchise-defining moment. For Dillon Gabriel, every snap, every decision, and every play carries the weight of his career. One rough quarter, one turnover, one stalled drive, and the entire narrative could shift instantly. The locker room, the media, and the fans are already primed to react, and the moment a crack appears in Gabriel's performance, the calls for Shedeur Sanders to take over will explode. It's not just about winning games, it's about leadership, credibility, and survival. Gabriel was supposed to be the bridge for the Browns' future, a player who would stabilize the offense and grow into the long-term answer. Now, he's trapped in a pressure cooker, competing against a rookie who hasn't even played a real game yet, but is already proving himself through preparation, poise, and maturity. The mental and emotional stakes are enormous. A single mistake could ignite a wave of criticism, and with every passing day, the margin for error continues to shrink. For the organization, the stakes are just as high. Kevin Stefanski is managing a volatile mix of player dynamics, media scrutiny, and fan expectations. Naming Sanders the official backup, or even letting the whispers continue, carries consequences. Delay too long, and the momentum Sanders has built could disrupt the locker room's cohesion. Move too quickly, and Gabriel may crumble under the pressure fueling media narratives that the team mishandled a young quarterback's confidence. Every decision, every word, every action is magnified in this environment. And then there's Sanders himself. The rookie's stakes aren't measured in snaps or stats yet. They're in trust, preparation, and reputation. Every film session, every practice rep, every interaction with veterans is a step toward proving he belongs. His work ethic, focus, and maturity are setting a standard that is impossible to ignore. The longer this continues, the more the organization, locker room, and fans are leaning toward Sanders as the future. In short, the stakes are monumental for Gabriel, for Sanders, and for the Browns as a franchise. This is about more than football. It's about legacy, leadership, and timing. One bad game, one misstep, or one moment of hesitation could change the course of careers and the trajectory of the team. The countdown is on, and everyone in Cleveland is watching, waiting, and anticipating the moment that will decide the next chapter of this story. As the quarterback drama in Cleveland continues to unfold, it's worth stepping back and looking at the bigger picture. This isn't just about Dillon Gabriel versus Shedeur Sanders. It's about a franchise at a crossroads, a locker room reacting to talent, and a fan base demanding clarity. Every player, coach, insider, and fan has a stake in this story, and the implications extend far beyond any single game. The first takeaway is clear. Preparation and poise matter as much as talent. Sanders may not have taken a snap in a real game yet, but he's already influencing the culture of the team. His consistent dedication, early mornings in the coach's office, and focus on mastering the playbook are earning respect from the veterans. Jerry Jeudy, Myles Garrett, and others aren't praising him for hype. They're recognizing a young quarterback who embodies the qualities of a franchise leader. That's a lesson not just for Gabriel, but for any player trying to make their mark. Work ethic and mindset can sometimes outweigh experience. Second, the power of perception in the NFL can't be overstated. Gabriel's talent isn't in question, but Sanders' rise has created a lens through which every action, every throw, and every decision is scrutinized. In a league where fans, media, and even teammates observe every detail, perception becomes reality. Gabriel is facing the impossible task of performing flawlessly while a rookie quietly builds momentum, earns trust, and wins hearts. The stakes for him aren't just physical, they're psychological, social, and cultural. Third, the locker room sets the tone. In Cleveland, the players have already started sending signals about who they believe should lead. Veteran endorsements, subtle cues, and internal dynamics are all shaping the narrative. NFL teams operate in high-pressure, high-stakes environments where culture and leadership matter as much as statistics. A quarterback who earns trust, demonstrates maturity, and inspires confidence often becomes the leader, whether or not they started as the presumed starter. Sanders is proving that quietly, without theatrics, and it's resonating with everyone around him. Finally, this saga underscores the importance of timing. The Browns have a decision to make, but the moment may already be set. Sanders, preparation and leadership have shifted the momentum, and every day that passes increases the pressure on Gabriel. Fans are ready to amplify any misstep, the media is watching closely, and the organization must balance respect for its starter with the reality of a rising star. In the end, the Cleveland quarterback controversy is a story about preparation, perception, and pressure converging in real time. For Gabriel, the challenge is immense. For Sanders, the opportunity is enormous. And for the Browns, the stakes extend beyond wins and losses. They're shaping the identity of the franchise. One thing is certain. The next chapter will reveal not just who starts under center, but what it truly takes to earn and sustain leadership in the NFL. The countdown is on, and the entire league is watching. So, where does this leave the Cleveland Browns? The quarterback room has turned into one of the most intense storylines in the NFL right now, and it's not slowing down anytime soon. Dillon Gabriel is under immense pressure, facing scrutiny from fans, media, and even his own locker room. Every throw, every decision, every moment on the field carries more weight than ever. One misstep, and the narrative could shift overnight, turning the season upside down. The psychological and emotional stakes for Gabriel are massive, and he knows that. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders continues to rise quietly, but undeniably. He hasn't even taken a meaningful snap in a game, yet he's already reshaping the culture of the Browns. From early mornings in the coach's office to meticulous preparation on plays and schemes, Sanders is demonstrating the kind of work ethic, focus, and leadership that teams dream about in a quarterback. He's earning trust without theatrics, letting his actions speak louder than words, and slowly but surely, he's winning over the locker room, the fans, and the media. The momentum is building, and it's impossible to ignore. For the organization, this isn't just about choosing a starter, it's about the bigger picture. It's about leadership, culture, and identity. Kevin Stefanski and the coaching staff are managing a powder keg of expectations, balancing the performance of the starter with the undeniable rise of the rookie. Jimmy Haslam and the front office are watching closely, knowing that the decisions they make now could define the trajectory of the franchise for years. The fans are part of this equation too. Their voices, chants, and social media presence are influencing the narrative every single day. And that's the beauty and brutality of the NFL. Talent alone isn't enough. Preparation, perception, leadership, and timing all collide to determine who rises and who falls. Gabriel's time is running short, Sanders' opportunity is imminent, and the stage is set for a showdown that could change the Browns' future forever. So here's the final thought. Watch closely. The next snap, the next drive, the next game could be the turning point. Will Gabriel silence the doubters and hold off Sanders, or is it finally time for the new era to begin? One thing is certain. The NFL, the fans, and the Browns organization are about to witness something remarkable. And you, watching this unfold, are witnessing history in the making.
If you enjoyed today's breakdown and want to keep up with all the drama, trades, and behind-the-scenes action in the NFL, then don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps this channel grow and lets us know you love this kind of content. And hey, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with your friends, your group chats, or anyone who loves football as much as you do. The more the conversation spreads, the better it gets. Most importantly, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and tap the notification bell. That way, you'll never miss when we drop fresh stories, wild rumors, or breaking updates that the mainstream media won't talk about.